You On radio show. I am your host with the most, Sean Don, and I am here on WJZZ. Listen, man, we are here, man, and I'm so happy to be here. What I will be doing for you is I will be going over current events, sports, what's going on. I accept hosts. We want to know what's going on in Detroit. So we're interested in people in Detroit who is doing things, people who don't get the platform to actually promote themselves and tell people exactly what it is that they do, where they can be found at, what they plan on doing with themselves and their business. And I'm here to listen, man. And I'm here to let people know what's going on with you. I want to give Roger a thanks for having me back. I'm happy to be here. And we're going to have a great show, man. I got a great show for you guys tonight. We got some crazy current events, man. We got some things that's been going on in the world, in sports, and this is my opening show. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following the station, and thank you for having me. Put You On radio show. That is the name. I am here to put you on. Like I said, if people don't know who you are and what you do, you get the opportunity to sit down with me and let me ask you questions. And we like interesting people, man. People that's actually doing things and putting their own work in, I want you to call in. I'm interested in callers. I want your opinion. Our telephone number at the show is 313-355-6018. Again, our telephone number at the station is 313-355-6018. Please call in with a comment. I would love to hear what you got to say, right? I choose certain current events that's going on in the world, whether it's sports or world news or whatever it is, just something interesting, that your opinion matters to me. I don't want to just sit here and talk to myself. So obviously getting your opinion means everything to me. So what's going on? Montgomery, Alabama is what's going on. So obviously, a few days ago, there was a situation where people in Montgomery, Alabama get the opportunity to get on a boat and they get to tour a river. And from my research, I hear that this particular river was historically is known as a place where the slaves were brought in at. So we know that slaves was brought in through Virginia, and I think Virginia was actually one of the first states where slaves was brought into through the slave ships, through the North Atlantic slave trade, right? Well, check this out. There was a dock. There's a dock where this ferry, the name of the vessel was called Harriet II, right? Isn't that interesting? So where Harriet II docks at, there was a small boat that was in the way. So seeing how this boat was in the way, it was a worker, this African-American guy, who went to the small boat, and the owners of the boat, it was a few Caucasian people. It was a Caucasian person who owned the boat, and it was occupied by 5 or 6 Caucasian people. So what this brother did was he went to the boat and he said, hey, basically you guys are in the way. Could you please move your boat? So Harriet II could be able to dock itself, right? Well, it was a problem. It was a social issue, and they didn't want to move their boat, and it got verbal, it got aggressive, and next thing we know, this brother is on the dock, and he's being attacked by 4 or 5 white people, right? I don't like to say white people. I'll say Caucasian, right? He was attacked, man. And whoo, why did they do that? While he was attacked, I mean, he got jumped on, y'all. And what happened was, not only did the people from Harriet II seeing what was going on, now everybody on Harriet couldn't jump in because they were actually still in the water away from the dock. There's one brother, this brother, you know, Instagram is the internet never fails, right? So the internet called this brother Aquaman, right? I seen his picture on Instagram. He's a young man. He looks fairly young. I'll probably give him 18, 19 years old, between 18 and 20 years old, right? He actually jumped off the boat, jumped in the water, and swam to the dock when he seen this brother being jumped. Now, when I say he was being jumped, he went from having an altercation with one person to him being jumped on and him being on the ground, being punched on by 5 people. Caucasian people. So the people that was on the Harry, they took notice, they pulled out camera phones and they recorded. That's how we got all the Instagram video, because so many people recorded the incident. So, man, this brother actually jumped off of the boat and swam to the dock to this brother's rescue. Let me tell y'all, this brother took his hat, threw his hat off. It was almost like he put the cat call out. And when he threw his hat, man, brother started coming out from all over the place. A brother was running from over here. A brother was swimming across the water. A brother was coming from over here, coming over here. Because, you know, we can't stand for each other to be beat on by somebody from another race. They obviously seen that it was an act of violence against one of our own, and they jumped right into it. And once our brothers came into rescue, man, everybody started fighting. You know, it was a big fight. It was the people who owned this boat, who was a part of the party of this small boat. Now listen, y'all, all they had to do was get out the way. All they had to do was just say, you know what, man, we apologize for being in the way. We will move our boat so you guys can dock your big boat and let these people off. We apologize for the inconvenience. We're out the way. Maybe they were drinking, maybe they were partying, but we're talking about Montgomery, Alabama, right? So, you know, Montgomery, Alabama, you know, one of the states that's known historically for slavery, still hold a high standard of racism, right? I don't live in Montgomery, Alabama, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Montgomery, Alabama, some states in Georgia, you got Louisiana, you got Mississippi. It's a high level of racism that still exists, you know? And I thought about it earlier. I was saying privilege. White privilege, man. These people felt like they did not need to move their boat, you know? For whatever reason, they were docked. They were either partying or doing something, but they were asked to move their boat. They will not do so, which ended in an altercation with one brother. Now, in the beginning of the video, this brother was jumped on. He was jumped on, like he was on the ground getting pounded. White women, two white, I think like 2 or 3 white women, 3 or 4 white men pounding on this brother. You know, he was outnumbered. You know, and once other African Americans seen what happened that was actually on the land, they jumped in to assist this brother, as they should. Now listen, I want your opinion on this. I want your right or wrong. You know, we've been taking a lot of heat historically from Caucasian people, but at this time that didn't matter, you know. So what happened after that, the boat, the Harriet II, end up docking itself. They end up docking the boat, and the people who were on the boat, the African Americans who were videotaping, man, they got mad when they seen what was happening, right? So soon as the boat docked, these people sprung into action. So it was not one brawl, it was two brawls. So listen, man, you know, Instagram never fails, right? So the last couple days since the incident, people been having this thing about chairs. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen this much talk about a chair in my life, right? It was a brother who had a chair. It was almost like a picnic chair or a chair you would sit in outside or something like that. Just a small gray chair, right? The brother took the chair and bopped this white man in the head a couple times with the chair and moved on and bopped the white woman upside her head with the chair. You can see in the video that he ended up being apprehended by the police. You know, an older white woman approached the police while he was making an arrest. The police officer pushed her. She hit the ground, you know, and it was an all-out brawl, man. The video showed 3 or 4 brothers took their shirts off. You know, us as black folks, when we get ready to fight, you know, we like to pull our pants up and take off our shirts in a minute, right? Like, that's what we do, you know? So these brothers took off their shirt, man, pulled their pants up, and it was a video showing of them approaching the boat after the first brawl, right? It was 2 brawls. So after the first brawl, the brothers approached the boat where the Caucasian people was on the boat. They have still yet to move their boat out the way. They didn't just have the first altercation and said, you know what, this is not for us, we're out of here. They actually stayed where they were at. They stayed at their location. So, man, listen, you know how we do, man. We sprung into action. And in the second brawl where the assault with the chair took place, you know, our brothers stood up for each other, you know, and I don't condone violence. I'm not saying that I don't condone violence. I don't say that violence is the answer. But if you know, like I know, we've tolerated a lot of indecent behavior from the Caucasian people for some time, you know. And one thing we're not gonna do is we're not gonna tolerate one of our own being jumped on or beat down by a Caucasian person of any kind, right? But my question to you is, well, not even a question, I just want your comment, you know. You know, years and years and years ago, the 50s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, this is something that we wouldn't have done. We were actually afraid, you know. We were actually scared to actually stand up for ourselves and jump into action whenever we see one of our own being mishandled and mistreated. We're talking about being whipped. We're talking about being whipped. We're talking about segregation, right? Listen, hey guys, you are watching Put You On, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. I want to thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. I want you to call in. I would love to hear your point of view. I would love to hear your comment on the situation. I don't care what it is, you know. I would love to hear from you. Our station telephone number is 313-355-6018. Again, please give us a call at 355-6018. You are listening to Put You On by your host with the most, Sean Design. I am here. I'm happy to be here. I am for the people. Next week, we will have our first guest. But today, since this is my welcome back, I'm just here to give a warm welcome to our fans and our watchers. Who I am and what I'm here to do. I plan on being here. I'm happy to be here, and I want to engage with our followers. I will have interesting topics every week, current events, sports, guests. We have a Boss Your Life Up segment. In our Boss Your Life Up segment, we will give a Boss Your Life Up tip on how to make you a better person. You know, whatever it is that you're doing, however you want to be better, whatever it is, if you're in business, you got credit tips, you have just being a better person and moving on. And as you move on in life, any tips that you can give us and to our followers on how to either get the job done, man. You know, not making excuses for yourself, not feeling sorry for yourself, blaming people. It can be a telephone number. It could be a program. It could be something from Focus Hope. It could be something from WC3. It could be a job opportunity. At the end of the day, we're here to help people. I'm here to help people. You know, I don't know if you know much about myself. I am a salon owner. We specialize in natural hair at Lock Life Dread Hut. You can follow us on Instagram at Lock Life Dread Hut. We specialize in locks and natural hair. As you know, locks has dreads, has kind of taken a life of its own here in the city. There's a lot of people who decided to go natural within the last couple years, and we cater to you. Not only to promote my own business, I mention that because we're here to help people. I'm here to help people. Listen, my whole life is about helping people. I realized that on my journey that there's no greater feeling than helping people be great. You know, I love to help people. You know, I don't look for money because money will come. But if I can help you be great or help you be a better person, that's why I'm here. I also write for the Detroit Smart Pages. I'm a sports writer. I hold a column once a month. I'm a NBA writer. I write on the NBA. And any other current event or current sports event that's happening, I write. You know, you can find our paper around the city of Detroit. One place that I do know where you can find our paper is at the Glory Food Market on Livernois and 7 Mile. That's one of the places where the lovely Brenda has she sends our papers there. She has a few other places. Beverly. She has our papers put in different places. You know what I'm saying? So pick one up, check out my column, and not only that, the paper has like other great columns. Like I don't just write. I read other columnists' write-ups. Man, it's all types of stuff about technology, what's going on in Detroit, and different things that's going on. Great topics. It is really a good newspaper. So I encourage you. I appreciate you. I know it's hard to keep up with information these days because we have Instagram and Facebook and so many other media outlets. But the Detroit Smart Pages, Beverly Smith, man, check it out. So back to it, man. This a huge fight. You know, a huge fight over the last couple of days, over the weekend. You know, we hate to see the black versus white thing. But hell, man, I'm one to believe that white people and black people will never get along. I just feel like that. I feel like it's too much bad history, too much bad blood. You know, you got the N-I-G-G-A word, nigger, the E-R, right? It's just too much bad blood with whites and blacks. You know, not everybody feels this way. We do have Caucasian people that actually feel like we are one, and we should be able to get along. But we still have those southern states, and even in the northern states, and even in the western states, Hell, all over the world. You know, you can go to Europe, you can go to Canada, you can go wherever. We still have that indifference. And yes, I am here reporting this current event, but I am also here to encourage us as a whole to kind of just calm down, man. Get it together. We are all here together. We all sharing this space together. History is history. We could talk about history all day long, but at the end of the day, while we are alive and we're here, we need to respect each other. It's not all about color. Granted, not only blacks but whites has been raised to not get along with the opposite race. You know, and hopefully one day, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, and other historic figures, public figures, has spoken in regards to us getting along. You know, but when you see events like this, it make you wonder, man. You know, like the way these Caucasian people were so quick to jump on this brother, and he's an employee. Now, in the video, we can't really hear what was said. We don't know what this brother said, so we don't know if what his approach was. But what we do know is that he works for the company, and he asks these people to move their boat out the way, so Harriet II can move herself in, and they refuse to do it, you know, and that was the result, you know. So I want your opinion. Please give me a call, 313-355-6018. Man, give me a call, whether you're pro black people or anti black people or pro white, whatever. I want your point of view based off of what it is you read about the situation and how you feel. You know, me personally, like I said, I feel like at the end of the day, we'll never get along. I feel like we always have that thing with that color barrier when it comes to African Americans and white people. You know, so we'll figure it out, man. I just hope that we don't have these type of things happen globally. You know, I hate to see these things happen. I don't want to see this thing taking effect on like, you know how things just like what's the word I'm looking for? It's spiral. You have more incidents. You know, I don't want to see that for us. We are in a good place in 2023. If we're not in a good place, we're not in a good place. If you don't think we're not in a good place, call in and let me know. You know, but we don't want to see a bloodbath in America when it comes to African Americans and Caucasian Americans. You know, granted, we know our differences. We know what neighborhoods we can go in. We know who accepts us, who doesn't. We know our place, but when it comes to instances like this, listen, we're going to stand up for each other. You know, I was at work today, and I was at the Dread Hut, and I was talking to a few of my coworkers, and I said, and customers, and I said, well, listen, y'all, what really shocks me about the situation is that years and years and years and years ago, us as a group, as a culture, we would have never allowed ourselves to A, jump on white people, B, hit a white woman, or C, assault them with a object, such as a chair. You know, I mean, when I say this brother got down, this brother bopped this man in the head with a chair. He bopped this white woman in the head with a chair. The officer pushed the white woman down to the ground. You know, it made me think about Emmett Till. Like, Emmett Till whistled at a white woman, and Emmett Till was from Chicago, who was, if you don't know, he was visiting his family in Mississippi. He was, 13, 15, something like that. And the white woman who he whistled at went and told her husband that this young black boy had whistled at me. And what he did was is he went and got a few of his friends, went to Emmett Till's home that night, drug him out of the bed, tied him up to the back of their truck, and drug him. They beat him and they drug him around town. They tied a rope around his feet and they drug him around town with their truck. Emmett Till's mother agreed to having a open casket funeral so her son's face could be seen globally. She wanted the world to see what these white men has done to her son. I mentioned Emmett Till, and there's other cases like this. Like Emmett Till is not the only person who's experienced. We got we have so many black men that has been hung for going against the grain when it comes to dealing with white people in history. And I'm even willing to say that deep down in the South, there's cases of black men that's been hung recently, lynched. You know, we don't hear much about this, but every once in a while, we will hear about a black man being lynched somewhere deep in Louisiana or Mississippi, or one of these heavily white culture racist towns. You know, so I mentioned Emmett Till because there was a time when black men and black women will cross the street when they see a white woman or a white man coming their way. It was law, you know, unless you wanted a problem. You will cross the street. You had to give these people the respect. You had to respect these people when they come down the street. Get out their way. Because we were, you know, under that standard, we were lower to dirt. And we had to give white people this respect. Well, listen, man, now in 2023, that's not the case. We are standing up for each other. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has spoken for many, many years about African Americans standing up for each other and rising up together and being one. Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Khalil Muhammad, Ishmael Muhammad, Angela Davis, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Huey P. Newton. We've had all types of African American men and women who's given their life for this fight. So this isn't just a story. This isn't just a situation where there was an altercation between black and white. This has a lot of meaning to it. And I want us, not only as viewers, but as a people, to take notice. There's a change in America. There is a change that has happened when it has came to us as a people and what we stand for. Now, we may fight each other. We may hurt each other. We may even kill each other. But when we see one of our own being attacked by a Caucasian or someone from another descent, Arab, white, whatever ethnic group, we won't tolerate it. And again, I don't condone violence, but I do agree with the fact that we need to stick together. And I don't knock it, man. You know, I would love to hear your opinion. Listen, man, you guys are watching Put You On. Live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. I am happy to be back. I'm so comfortable right now. I feel like I never left. It's your host with the most, Sean Don, and you are watching Put You On. I am here to put people on. I don't have a guest today, but next week I will have a guest. If you want to be a guest, or if you know somebody who's interesting, who have an interesting background, who's putting in work in the city that people don't know about, I want to give you the platform to be able to come sit down and tell your story. We have a lot of restaurant owners, A lot of food trucks have been popping up in the city in this last year. Whether you work with children, whether you are a hairstylist, a business owner, a bartender, I want to hear your story. We all have a story, you know, and we all come from somewhere. And I want to sit you down and I want to listen to your story. You know, I want you to tell the people where they can find you. If you have a business, I want to hear about the work that you putting in the city. Because it's not about being a rapper or a superstar or somebody who's already made it. We hear from them people all day long. We promote those people all day long. But I want to sit down and talk to the people who's actually putting in the work. You know, give me a call, 313-355-6018. Wjzz, the coolest station in the world. I'm your host with the most, Shine Don. You will be hearing a whole lot more from me. And let's get it. You know, our first current event today was about Harriet II, the riverboat in Montgomery, Alabama. The altercation between a group of black people and a group of white people that ended up physical. And I want your take on it. If you haven't heard about it, hopefully you heard my story about it and my take, and I would love to hear yours. Moving on, man, we got our sports segment. Again, I am a sports writer. I write sports in the Detroit Smart Pages. It is a monthly magazine that's published, and you can find our magazine in grocery stores. I even heard about our magazine, our newspaper being sent down to the Michigan Barber School. It's all around Detroit, so check it out. I wrote a column on Ja Morant. Let's talk about Ja Morant for a minute in the NBA. NBA, the National Basketball Association, and hip hop has kind of went hand in hand over the years, right? Wherever you see NBA, you might see a hip hop artist, right? You've heard many basketball players such as Shaq, Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Damian Lillard. These guys rap, you know. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. These guys rap, you know. Outside of their talents on the court, they'll get in the studio and they'll bust a rap. Shaquille O'Neal has done his thing over the years. He's done songs with Biggie Smalls. Rest in peace to Biggie. Shaq has actually dropped the album. Shaq mentioned on Drink Champs that he actually got a record deal before when he was a young cat. When he was out here doing his thing, you know. And if you don't know anything about Ja Morant is a star for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's funny because Ja Morant was listening to NBA Youngboy. I don't know if you guys know about NBA Youngboy. He's a drill rapper. The term drill rap may be new to you guys. Drill rap was established in Chicago, and to be quite frankly, and to be straight up with you, it's violent. You know, drill rap talks about hurting people. You know what I'm saying? Ops, hurting your ops. You know, shooting people and hurting people, and neighborhood stories where people has gotten hurt through gun violence, gang violence, and it's developed a fan base over time, you know. And it's ironic while we're talking about NBA Youngboy and Ja Morant. The first time Ja Morant was in a strip club, and while he was in a strip club with a couple of his friends, he was listening to NBA Youngboy, and while he was excited and turned up listening to the music, he pulled a gun out on camera. Now, by him being an NBA superstar, that's against the NBA policies. Sending the wrong message. You know, you got kids looking at you. You are a role model. You have sponsorships through Nike and Powerade, and there's different companies that sponsor you and for your talent. They pay you a lot of money, man. Right? So Ja Morant was suspended for 8 games. He issued an apology. ESPN actually stood up for him. Jalen Rose. Shout out to Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose actually interviewed Ja Morant. You know, Jalen Rose is a great guy. You know, he stands up for the youth. And he's empowering young people to be better. And he wanted to give Ja Morant the opportunity to clear his name, which he did. Again, shout out to Jalen Rose. Shout out to Jalen Rose Academy, the Jalen Rose School in Detroit. Again, a few months later, Ja Morant was fined. He was fined. I think he lost like $18,000 in a matter of 6 games. He was suspended for 6 games. He lost about between $16,000 and $18,000 in money, and he issued an apology. A few months later, he's sitting in the car with a friend of his, and while he's on the passenger seat of the car, his friend pulls out his phone while they're listening to NBA YoungBoy again, the same artist, the same drill rapper that I was just talking about. And what they do is, while they're listening to the music, Ja Morant pulls out another gun. He pulls out another gun while he's on live. It got back to the NBA. It got back to his team. His team then suspended him from all team activities, which means his key card to get in the building was deactivated, if you know what I mean. The commissioner, Adam Silver, issued a statement saying that how it was unfortunate that he's here again, and after the All-Star break, he will issue his punishment. I want to give a shout out to the NBA for actually giving these young guys a shot. I think Ja Morant was like 24, 25 years old. He's fairly young. Is it safe to say that he doesn't know any better? Being suspended for 6 games the first time and losing so much money versus him getting caught the second time doing the same thing, right? You on live, you pull out a gun, it gets back to your workplace, and not only did he get suspended from all team activities, he was also suspended for 25 games. We're talking about somebody who was set to sign a $230 million max deal for the 2023-2025 NBA season. He's a superstar. So you ask yourself, you want to ask yourself, is it hip hop? Is it rap music? Is it his age? At what point do we continue to make excuses for this young man? Do we make another excuse for him? He pulled out a gun twice within a matter of 2 or 3 months, listening to drill rap. Do you want to know? The title of my column was, is Ja Morant on drugs, or do he want to be a rapper? And listen, I want your comment. Man, please give me a call. 313-355-6018. Whether it's about the issue in Montgomery, Alabama, or it's about Ja Morant pulling out a gun twice on camera. Give me a call. I want to hear your point. I want to hear your take on it. You are watching Put You On, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please, 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 please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. And you are watching your host with the most, Sean Design. Why do I have these glasses on? Because I am on the coolest station in the world and I feel cool right now. I'm relaxed. I'm really enjoying my time here. I'm enjoying you. Thank you for watching. These are two great topics, guys. If you don't get a chance to comment, please go on our page, leave a comment. We are watching and we will respond to you. Do you agree with the altercation or do you not agree with the altercation in Montgomery, Alabama? And if you are a sports fan, give me a comment. Like I said, I am a sports writer. I write the NBA every month. I feel like this story is newsworthy. About the NBA and drill rap, hip hop. Hip hop has always taken its place in rap music. We've seen do-rags, we've seen baggy clothes, we've seen jewelry, we've seen rappers sideline, we've seen rappers bring out boxers doing the boxing match. We've seen hip hop and rap music. We've seen rap music and sports go hand in hand. But where are we going with this? This young man was set to lose millions and millions of dollars in 1 year because of the impact that drill rap has on him. Does he care? We seen Ja Morant on the sideline insinuating gunshots with his hand. Where are we going? The NBA is sports in general is paying astronomical amounts of money to these young guys for their talent. I don't take away from the talent. I believe if you're talented, if they're willing to pay, man, you can change up your family's life. You can change other people's lives. You can help children. You can help homeless people. You can help, and it won't even affect your pockets. But we know that music has energy, and we know that the energy from music, if you don't have any self-control, if you don't know how to receive the music, it can you'll find yourself in Ja Morant's shoes. Is NBA YoungBoy, is hip hop worth you being suspended for 6 games, losing thousands of dollars? Is it worth you being suspended 25 games, another 25 games for the same behavior? You go on social media and you say, hey, I got work to do on myself, but for you getting caught doing this for more than one time, does that excuse, does it stand? How long before people, your fans, give up on you? Will you do this again? What happens when the Minnesota Grizzlies give up on you? What happens if you get fired? What do you tell your daughter? What do you tell your wife? His father is on the sideline drinking Hennessy every game. What type of role model was his father? Now, I'm not here to judge. Hey, I'm just Sean Dine. I got work to do on myself. We all got work to do on ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're all perfect. But my God, will I blow a $230 million max contract doing something that I love for NBA YoungBoy and hip hop and a gun? Maybe Ja Morant need to change his surroundings and the people who he hangs around. Ja Morant has got into more issues involving a gun. He played, they had a game against the Indiana Pacers, and after the game, there was a beam from a gun being pointed at the Indiana Pacers bus that was said to be from Ja Morant. He's got in a fight at his sister's high school. It's even been said that one of his friends had got into a physical altercation at his house where authorities had to be called in. Listen, man, when you're making this kind of money and you have this kind of power, you need good people around you, man. You need people around you that actually care about you, that actually care about your well-being. Listen, man, you can't be around me, bruh. And you don't have any self-control. If you're my friend and not me only changing my family's life, I done changed your life, man, I'm not gonna lose my bag for you, bro. You can't, if you care about me, you're not gonna put me in situations where it's going to allow me to lose everything that I worked for. It's only like 200 and some people in the NBA. It's like 200 and a half. Don't quote me, but it's not a lot of people that get selected to play in the NBA. So for the NBA to select you to represent their company, their business, to pay you millions of dollars for your talent, I mean, my God, even the people on the bench get paid a lot of money. The people who you don't know get paid a lot of money. So, listen, man, I encourage Ja Morant, I encourage other NBA players to actually get it together. We're moving towards the end of our show. I want to go ahead and move into the Boss Your Life Up segment. We got your Boss Your Life Up segment where we encourage you as our viewers to be better, to be great, whether it's a job or something we can tell you to be better. My Boss Your Life Up segment for you today is something I'm working on because I realize that I can't move ahead without it. Get your credit together. Pay your bills, man. You know, get a credit card, pay your bills, and you'll be able to do more in life. You won't have to use your cash to do everything with high interest rates. You know, you want that Cadillac truck, you want that Benz, you want that Rolls Royce. The first thing you need to do is get a good credit background, good credit standing. Show that you can pay your bills. It took me years to get this. I'm not perfect. I haven't done this. Like, I'm working on it right now. But I realized that if I want anything out of life, I got to get my credit together. That is the first thing, you know. Show these companies that you can pay your bills, man. And if you can show them you can pay your bills, they wouldn't mind doing something for you. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for the wonderful show. I want to thank WJZZ. I want to thank Roger. I want to thank you most importantly as my viewers. Check me out next week. I will have another great topic, another great sports topic. I might even have a guest. You are watching Put You On, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ TV, the coolest station in the world.